You got the badass. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, is you can run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the badass. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the dens of line. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Army tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good lucha thing.
I hate Knox!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Yeah, well, the song started in the middle. Whatever. What are you going to do, right, everybody? Hey, it's friggin' Wednesday night. How's everybody doing out there? Hope you're doing well, you silly bastards. I'm doing all right. A little quiet around here. Nobody's at my house. But anyway, I am Boxman. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here. It is me, and, of course, riding along shotgun right over there is Mr. Smart Wahlberg. My man, how you doing?
I am A-okay. How are you, sir?
Not bad, man. Not bad at all. Not bad for a Wednesday, knowing I have to be up at 5:30 in the morning still. Okay. See, last week, my Thursday was my Friday because my wife had a procedure done at the hospital on Friday. So I didn't really care because, it was only one more day. But I'm really getting too old to be up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, it's killing me, man. It is. It's starting to kill me. So I don't know. But anyway, enough about me. I'm not doing that bad though. I'm all right. Just a little tired. Like I said, I was telling Smark I had a few extra beers last night without meaning to, but
We've all been there.
it was an accident. I told you that. I mentioned that, didn't I? It was an accident that I drank so much. It was.
Exactly what I told the police officer several times.
Yeah, I haven't been drinking. But
Like, I passed out. I don't know why I'm in this car. I thought I was in bed.
I did pull over one night in my car right down the road from my house. I mean, from my apartment. I was right down the road, and I was so bad. I pulled over in this. It was a storage place that I pulled over in. And I don't know what made me get in the passenger seat, but I did. I got in the passenger seat, laid it back, passed out. When I got up, I told the cop, I'm like, I don't know how I got here. I said, someone dropped me off and left. I'm in the passenger seat. Keys are I guess because I put the keys on the seat. I guess I was just that bad. Took the keys out, put them on the seat, laying in the passenger seat. Cop comes up, and I'm just like, I don't know how I got here, man. They drove me home.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they technically can't prove anything at that point.
They couldn't. All they knew was a car was sitting there. They came to check on it because usually there wasn't a car there that late unless they're it was a 24-hour place, but usually they're inside, and I guess he was just driving through. But yeah, they drove me home. I was less than a half a mile from home. I just couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Less than a half a mile. I should have been able to make it, but I couldn't make it. And I don't know. I felt like I was going to puke, so I just decided to pull over.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, it was a nice night coming back from Krabby Jack's, which was only 2 miles from my house. So
there you go. Excellent.
Yeah, or my apartment at the time. Good stuff, though. Fun times, man. Fun times.
Now that sounds like a nightmare because I've never lived in an apartment, but the idea of just like being drunk and trying to navigate a set of stairs sounds terrible.
Yeah, I was second floor. Not third, I was second floor. It wasn't that bad. But it was a nice place. I lived right off a lake. Right off the lake, and it was awesome. I used to go out there and fish. Pretty much every place I've made sure there's a lake walking distance from. So until I got a house, and then I didn't care. But my apartments were always in walking distance of a lake, so I could just walk out and go fishing. So
nice.
Yeah, I was thinking about me back then. That was it. I didn't care about anybody else. It was just me.
Understandable. That's what happens.
Didn't have kids. Didn't have nothing. No wife. No kids. It was just me and the fish.
So you've upgraded. You've gone from fish to dogs now.
Well, I had a dog then too.
I
had another Boston Terrier named Mac.
Nice.
Yeah, he was with me from my first apartment. When I was there, I think I was only there about 6 weeks, and I just woke up one Saturday morning and said, "I'm gonna go get a dog."
Makes sense.
Drove around looking for dogs. Finally found the one that just like connected with me, and boom, had my dog.
Nice.
Yeah. 14 years he was with me. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. So anywho, let's go ahead and we'll get these plugs knocked out. Then I guess we'll go ahead and just start out with Revolution since good Lord, was that a show. We'll just go ahead and start with that. That was one hell of a fucking show, man. So all right, let me go over here. Let me put this on. Let me do this. And all right, that means we're going to start out. That's right. I'm going to talk about the high marks, the cheese man, the mojo, the G-Wiz. You should be listening to him on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network. If you are not, you should be ashamed of yourself. Throw yourself off a cliff right now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, definitely check out the high marks, mixer.com/Metal Mitt Podcast Network, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That is on a Sunday. You're not doing anything. You're just dreading going back to work Monday. Might as well take your mind off of it. Listen to the high marks. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhumans. They're on the Inhuman Experience. Check them out on all the usual podcast platforms. You should be subscribed to them already. If you are not, do that. And you got Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. You got Eric, you got Doug, you got Daniel. They've always got some people on there having a great time. And you can check them out. It is Everything Unscripted EUP Network on Blog Talk Radio. And you can find Everything Unscripted on all of the usual podcast platforms. Stephen Milan, appreciate you sharing the show. He's on Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in that last name. And he's over there reviewing films. And I will not be reviewing the film this week. I'm going to go see the kids and then bring them back on Sunday. So I'm going to skip the show this week for Hollywood Hangout. And I'll be back next week, and I'm planning on doing Rollerball. The new one, not the old one. The new one that had, not new, but the later version with Chris Klein, Paul Heyman, Shane McMahon's got a cameo. But I think it'd be a fun movie to do.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
So, please, sir.
All right, Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Myth Podcast Network. It is Cheese on Sports. Cheese Man, Gee Whiz, Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. We're talking the NFL. You can hear me complain about Aaron Rodgers coming back. You can hear Luke celebrate. We're talking the NBA. We're talking hockey. We're talking it all. March Madness is coming up, so stick with us. We're going to be talking about that too. And be sure to check out our friends at Not Dirk Machine Guns. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show. That's the name of the show. With Mojo and with Dirk. And last but never least, I always get this one right. Planet Raconteur. There we go. The Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes of Season 1 are available for your listening pleasure. And be sure to subscribe, because Season 2 is rolling down the pike as we speak.
All right. There we go. Which means I can now turn that down, pause that music, and there we go. All right. By the way, I don't want to jinx anything, but your audio tonight, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to jinx because Skype did update this morning. So I was like, God damn it. I immediately came home and restarted the computer. Just to be safe.
By the by, have you updated to Windows? I think it's 11 now.
No, and I haven't even had like a thing to, because I have Windows 10 on this, but I haven't been even prompted to update to Windows 11. I'm not doing that, dude.
No, I'm holding out until they. I absolutely have no other choice but to do so.
Yeah, because they always come out. They've got bugs. They need fixes, and then you got to download 35,000 fucking updates. Just wait a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a year, and then they'll have it all put together. And maybe when they force me to, because I mean they kind of forced you to update Windows 7. They just stopped all, everything for it, and then I don't know.
Right.
I still got 2 computers out there with Windows 7 on it.
Yeah, I mean, they don't force you to, but they just make everything that you use non-compatible with the operating system after a while. So,
right, they stop servicing and doing everything for it, so it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
So, what the hell? Everyone's got to have a new computer, I guess.
That's it.
So, Dirk is asking, is Scorpio going to be a transitional champion? I don't see him being champion too long, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. But we'll see. We'll see. He may not be, but I really don't see him being champion too long. I don't know. I mean, I know Sami had the orbital injury to his eye a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know if maybe he's hurt worse, and I don't know if that's why they're taking it off him right now, but I thought it was a little weird taking it, but we'll definitely get to that. But like I said, I guess we'll kick off with some Revolution. I did not watch the pre-show, but I did see the whole thing where Eric Redbeard kind of came back. I'm not sure if he's coming back for a while or if he's just came back for a one-off, but seems right now like a one-off. So
yeah, it seems like a placeholder for Phoenix, but I did watch the pre-show. It was pretty. That was the main event of the pre-show. It was a pretty good match. I like he does a little like suplex into a cutter that looks cool. He did that at the last week on Dynamite too, and it looked pretty nice.
I didn't see that. Oh, on Rampage you said?
No, Dynamite.
Oh,
because he was on Dynamite last week. He made the save.
Yeah. Oh no, I forgot. But I forget.
I haven't seen Dynamite in a minute, or now I did it. I haven't seen Rampage in a minute.
Yeah, I don't usually watch. By Friday, I'm fucking. All I want to do is come home and fucking watch movies or TV or.
By the by, for those who do watch Rampage, it's going to be preempted at some point this month because they're doing the NCAA basketball tournament. So be sure to set your DVRs accordingly. I think that's it's either next week or the week after.
I don't know.
I want to say, the 18th is next week, so it would be then.
Okay, yeah. So it's that not this week, but next week.
Yeah.
All right, not bad at all. Now we don't have to get seriously into some of this stuff. It's already, it was Sunday night. You've pretty much heard plenty of opinions on this show. We don't have to get into everything, but I'll definitely start with the first match. I will say there was not a bad card. There was one not great match, but not a bad match on the card that I saw. The women's match was a little clunky, I guess you could say.
And see, that's the thing, though, is I kind of wonder if, maybe not intentionally, but if they were set up to fail. Because, I mean, somebody had to go after it, but the women's match went after the CM Punk MJF match.
Right.
And, like, whoever got that unfortunate duty it was kind of a kiss of death regardless of who you were. So it's like, how do you book it accordingly? But they kind of got the short end of the stick on that one.
Yeah, you're right. The crowd might have been a little tired after that, a little beat up, a little shocked even. But anyway, the first, they kicked off the show. It was Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston, and these guys fucking went out there and fucking tore the fucking place up. Great fucking start-off match, I thought, man. Great match to start off. These two did what they said they were going to do, went out there and kicked each other's ass.
For sure. Yeah, it's one of those, if you like seeing people just beat the ever-loving shit out of each other, that's the match for you.
Yeah. Really, really liked what they were doing. They just they made it look brutal. They were out there there were a couple really brutal matches on this card, and this one, this kind of kicked off the theme or the tempo of the night, however you want to say it.
Right. And that's another one. They got a very good draw on that one. I wonder if that was like maybe Jericho asked for that because it didn't have to follow anything. I mean, the pre-show matches and the crowd was kind of hot for that, but everybody was still fresh and everybody was still excited. So It's a hell of a time to, go on first.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I thought that was a great way to start the show, man. Just these two guys just went out there. Like I said, it was just two guys kicking each other's ass. Didn't seem like a wrestling match. It seemed like a fucking a street fight almost.
Dirk saying that was his favorite match of the show.
Yeah, I got to give that to MJF Punk, man. That was so old school and beautifully done. We'll get to it in just a minute here. There was a tag team championship match. Obviously, Jurassic Express did win that match because they are still champions. It was versus Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks. I thought this was a good match. I mean, it was what it was. It kind of, let's face it, when the Young Bucks are in there, you know what the match is going to be.
Sure.
I've said that 100 times. Still was a good match. Actually liking that O'Reilly and Fish are kind of working more of they both seem to be working more of an MMA style than a wrestling style, and I like it.
Yeah, that's sort of their MO, or at least it was while they were on, the Indies, Ring of Honor, before they got to NXT. So It's a little bit more the traditional way of wrestling.
I like it. I like what those guys are doing. I definitely expected Jurassic Express to retain. I think they've only had the title for like 2 months. There's no reason to take it off them. The crowd loves them. The music, the fucking the dinosaur. They love the whole thing. There's no reason to take it off them. No reason.
Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah, you are right though. They won the show after the first show of the New Year's.
All right, so yeah, okay, well, it's been a little more than 2 months, but still no reason to take it off them, though. No reason at all. I think they're fine champions. Like I said, they got the crowd behind them. It's something fun, when they come out, the song gets sang, and it's good shit. It's good shit, man. So this match was really good, though. Like I said, not really a bad match on the card, but, what'd you think of that one?
I liked it. I mean, like I was saying, like you said, you kind of know what to expect when you have a Young Bucks match, and some people like it, some people don't. I saw people complaining that it was all just a bunch of spots, but at the same time, you had, regardless of what you liked, you had a little bit of everything on the show.
Mm-hmm.
If you liked more technical matches, you had that. If you wanted, the people to just beat the shit out of each other, like we said, you had that. You had a little bit of everything, and this was a match that appealed to a certain fan of a certain type of style, and I enjoy it. Some people don't, but I mean, it's not an intense blood feud. You know what I mean? It's a triple threat tag match. The fact that there was a couple of spots in the triple threat tag match isn't really the end of the world for me.
No, and like I said, you do know what you're going to get when you get a Bucks match, but you're going to get fast-paced, good action when they're in a match.
Right.
So you're at least always guaranteed that. And you're right, it does kind of go to a certain type of wrestling fan, but you know what you're getting when you go into this match, and I would say that's probably 99% of the AEW fans are huge fans of all three of these teams and loved this match, so...
Sure.
And we go on. It was Keith Lee, who needs to learn how strong he really is, versus Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, and Christian Cage in a Face of the Revolution ladder match. Man, this was pretty fucking crazy to watch. It was. I mean, I didn't even bother taking any notes. It wasn't worth it. Too much going on. Orange Cassidy with putting the fucking ladder around his neck, but that was great. But Keith Lee throwing Orange Cassidy, man, that was like the perfect storm of badness. It looked like Keith Lee threw him too hard. It looked like Orange Cassidy jumped a little too far, got a little too light, I guess you would say. And then it looked like the guys were just a little out of place to catch him.
Yeah.
So it was like between all three of those, he's fucked.
Yeah, they were saying that I guess he doesn't need surgery, but he is going to be out for a little while. They didn't really elaborate as to how long, but apparently that's what ended up doing it for him.
Yeah, it could be a fracture, a sprain. Something small could be a ligament. That had to at least dislocate a shoulder, man. Yeah, he landed hard. I was like, holy shit, because I had heard about it, and I purposely stayed away from everything, and I watched all this last night because there was no one here. And I purposely stayed away from everything, and then I saw that last night, and I was like, whoa, fuck. I mean, he launched the shit out of him.
Mm-hmm.
But when I played it one more time back, and I was like, man, it just looks like three bad things. Just like I said, the throw was bad, the liftoff was bad, and the landing was bad. So felt bad.
It's kind of the perfect storm of things. I was a little surprised because basically that was the only injury of like the entire night, surprisingly enough. But even in that match, I was surprised that Ricky Starks didn't end up getting injured. Because it was towards the very end of the match, but he took a power bomb onto a ladder, and God bless, he's way better at selling than I guess I gave him credit for, because it literally looked like he was knocked out.
Right.
Like, he just, like, it was completely folded over, and he just didn't move for what felt like a good 5 minutes. But apparently he's just way better at selling than I realized. So shout out to him. Props for that, I guess.
It still could have hurt. He might just still be walking from it.
Oh, yeah.
But
anytime you get power bombed onto it, and it looked like his head just bounced off the fucking ladder, too. So,
yeah, well, see, things like that are why when you tell a wrestling fan how fake it is, we get upset.
Mm-hmm.
You can't fake some stuff like that, man. But pretty damn good stuff. And Orange Cassidy doing the skin the cat on the ladder.
Right.
Was fucking insane, man. There were some really good spots. I mean, this was supposed to be a spot fest match. That's what this is. But there were some really good spots. But I was so glad to see Wardlow win this match. I told you they need to pull the trigger on him, and I'm glad they did. They pulled two triggers with him on Revolution, which I was very happy for.
Right.
And they continued it tonight, so that was even better. But great for Wardlow. Like I said, they need to do this sooner rather than later because the crowd is ready. And they were ready. They loved Wardlow winning.
Right. Only real complaint I have is they just need to find a better prop for that match. Because they did it last year too, but they brought back the big gold Sonic the Hedgehog ring. And it's just like you have people that are like killing themselves out there. They're taking these big, huge bumps. And then like the culmination is somebody hoisting a Sonic the Hedgehog ring over their head. It just looks kind of silly.
Dude, it's the brass ring. Get it?
Yeah, I do get it, but like,
dude, they're trying to reach for that brass ring, man. Get it? Get it? It's a joke on Vince.
Unless this culminates with like Cesaro holding it up next year, I guess Claudio holding it up next year, they just need to end the brass ring.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, put something else up there. Put a fucking not a briefcase. Just put the contract up there on a fucking clipboard. No, that's kind of TNA-ish.
Yeah, that's the thing is I was thinking about that too because I was like, all right, what's the solution to that? And it's like we can't do briefcase. You can't do just like the clipboard. I don't know. Like, what I want, and this is probably something that like Impact's already done. Like, you just fucking have like a cage match, and then you have like everybody starts off in the cage, climb up the cage, you like hit a button.
Yes.
Like back in the day, if anybody ever watched that show Guts, when they climb the fucking aggro crack and they hit a button, and the first person that hits the button wins.
I swear to God, I was just thinking that. It's 2022. I mean, have a fucking phone up there with a fucking push button. I mean, there's so many different ways you can do it now. A button is perfect. Go up there, push the button. First guy to hit the button wins.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that? I swear to God, I was thinking the same thing. That's about the only way you can do it, though. Because, yeah, there's... TNA would have it hanging from a coat hanger. But, probably. Josh Matthews' phone.
Whoever retrieves Josh Matthews' phone wins.
Wait, I'm getting a call. Can we pause this match?
That's what I was gonna say. It's like somebody has to keep calling the phone over and over again because they can't find it.
They're up there trying to push the button on the phone, and he's on a call on Bluetooth.
That's the fucking like the old headset that they used to have like back in the early 2000s, where it just like takes up half your ear.
Yeah, and I trust me, folks. I know he's not with that company anymore. We're just having some fun here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Josh Matthews is a free agent.
I was just gonna say unemployed, but you made it sound much fancier than me.
Well, I might represent him. No comment.
Yeah, I don't know about he's a free agent, folks.
He's just looking through his offers at the moment. He's in such high demand.
You're looking to hire a leprechaun.
I mean, if he fucking control your narrative federation probably needs somebody to do whatever it is that he did for Impact. Which, by the by, I did not keep up with the event that happened this weekend, but I did see a post on the Wrestling Umbrella show that apparently the fans showed up and there were no chairs. To which I just wrote, I love this company.
I agree. And when I was kind of laughing myself, and I'm like, man, not one chair. That's not good. Not good at all. And I saw there wasn't a lot of people there, but it could have been early in the show. I don't know. Maybe they brought chairs out. I don't know. I didn't see any pictures after that. And I didn't really look at any like rundowns of the show. I don't know if there even was any rundowns of the show printed. I don't even know.
Literally none of the outlets that I follow mentioned it. So it apparently went pretty well. Like, I know more about what's going on with Impact. So, I mean, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I got nothing for you on that, dude. That's those guys are way out of my league. Mm-hmm. Way to the right of my league. Let's just say that. Anyway, this was the match that wasn't so great. Jade Cargill versus Tay Conti. It just seemed like they were over.
I disagree. I think this was the best match of the night.
You're lying, aren't you?
Well, no, just for a very specific reason. Like, as soon as the match started, and then everything after that was downhill.
I know.
That moment where they made out.
But it was her kiss of death, as she explained tonight.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. The same thing worked for, her name on Lucha Underground. I'm trying to remember. Katrina?
I think it was Katrina, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna say Katrina until I'm proven wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think anyone could do
I know her real name, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's Katrina. It sounds right.
Christopher Cain coming right in. So far, Punk has replaced Cody in the self dick sucking.
Mm-hmm. By the by, he said that he thought the pay-per-view was okay. There was parts where he had to watch something else, but he did note that the internet does kind of swarm upon you if you have anything negative to say about AEW. But
Well,
yeah, I was kind of seeing a lot of people like the only like not necessarily complaining, but like a common theme is it was a pretty long show.
it was number one. It was definitely a pretty long show, but I don't know. This match just seemed very like over choreographed, like they were trying to do a dance instead of a fucking wrestling match at some point. Now I know Jade is very green, and maybe Tay Conti had to slow it down for that reason. Possibly, I'll go with that. It just didn't seem right to me.
I mean, I could buy that would be maybe what happened. Is just like maybe they planned it out a little bit more than some of the other people that were on the card. Because I don't think that like Kingston and Jericho really had to plan things out all that much, nor did Moxley and Danielson or Punk and MJF. So it's probably a lot more of a natural flow to the stuff that they were doing versus Jade still being kind of new. And I guess maybe they planned her match out a little bit more.
Possibly, and that's probably the way it ran. And but I mean, I'm not saying the match was bad, but it was a little like I said at the beginning, it was kind of just clunky,
right,
most of the time. So anyway, that's that match. Now this match. This match was fucking old school. This match was fucking bloody. This match was fucking awesome. CM Punk versus MJF. CM Punk coming down to his old music from ROH. AFI's Miseria Cantare.
Yeah, close enough.
Cantare.
It's always it's a very wieldy title, but yeah, he came out to his old Ring of Honor theme. He had the white trunks on, the shorts.
Yep.
The same, by the by, same attire that he wore, more or less. It was a replica or recreation of the attire that he wore in the dog collar match that he had in Ring of Honor with Raven. So it was full on, paying homage to the past. Like Christopher Cain said, there was a lot of, it was very self-indulgent, the dick suckery, as it were, but I was there for it. I was a big Ring of Honor fan when I was, as a teenager, watching it in 2004, 2005. I loved it. So it was a nice bit of nostalgia. I really enjoyed it.
Right. We've got Sean in here saying that match and feud of the year. I don't know if I can disagree, man.
Oh, yeah. They told a really good story. I definitely enjoyed everything that they did with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I thought it was great. This match was great. Punk was bleeding horribly from his fucking head. They were both opened. This match was fucking just absolutely awesome, man. I loved everything about it. Here comes my dog. I just thought this match was another brutal, just methodical beating by both of them, and I just thought it was a fucking badass match throughout. I just really did. I loved everything about it. Like I said, it felt old school. It just felt like you were watching wrestling again, and you hadn't in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed it. They played it on Dynamite earlier too. The clip where you had MJF like telling Punk just to give up, and Punk telling him to eat shit, and then they brought in the thumbtacks, and even the referee, they were saying, got thumbtacks in his hand, like trying to make the count, and it just went back and forth. It was a very bloody match. That was always fun. It was kind of funny at one point. I don't know how this ended up happening, but I guess MJF came unhooked, so they had to hurry up and hook him back up while he was calling for Wardlow to come down.
Yeah.
Which at first I thought was part of the match, but then when it just like never factored in later, I was like, well, that they just kind of fucked up, I guess. But that was really the only thing bad that happened in that match. So it was a really enjoyable match. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought you said it was your favorite match of the night, and I didn't say anything, but I agree. I really enjoyed it quite a bit.
Nice. Very nice. And Wardlow did turn on MJF. MJF is calling for the ring. Wardlow's looking in his pocket, and he can't find it. He can't find it. And then suddenly, after the match, he looks at Punk wins the match, and he looks. Oh, it was in my left pocket. Oh, there it is. That silly ring. Leaves it on the apron and walks out. And like I said, they pulled the trigger twice with him, and they not only had him win that match, but he also walked away from MJF and clarified more on that tonight. Which, man, we got a different Wardlow out there tonight. Almost soft spoken.
Yeah, it needs some work. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but he needs some work. Like, he'll get there, because, I mean, this is the first time he's spoken for himself in more than just, like, one sentence or two. You know, there's an actual time to kind of show what he's got on the microphone. And, he wasn't fumbling all over himself. He wasn't even the worst promo of the night, which we might get into later. But, yeah, it's going to take some time, I think. But people really seem to like him, so he's on the right track.
Yeah. Now, Christopher Cain, just so you know, WWE does not own that theme song. Yes, they used it forever, but they do not own that song. I forget who does, but it is not WWE. They never owned the rights to that song.
I think I could be wrong, but I think that it's one of those public domain songs that you can like lease and license and whatnot. Because I've seen it on like TV shows that had nothing to do with wrestling.
Oh yeah, I've heard it on like what was that, Jesse James, Monster Garage, and all those shows used it throughout the time. All those Monster Garage, Monster this, Monster House, all those shows used that music. But I know WWE does not own it.
Right.
Yeah, you see Dirk is saying he heard it on ESPN. I don't know if it's a copyright. I mean, we could probably get the name of it here. What's the name of that song? Let's see, Hardy Boys. Theme
like just
song.
as an example, while you're looking that up, another one of those is actually the Firefly Funhouse theme song that they used. It was just a list of public domain kids songs.
Yeah. Ringside News has something on it. Oh wait, hold on.
Well, I mean, maybe the site that they stole it from is a little bit more legitimate. You might want to look into it anyway.
Well, I'm going to look at it. All right, hopefully my computer doesn't crash. All right, I think they tell you who owns it. The Hardy Boys. It looks into the duo will unite. According to Fightful, has learned that there has been inquiries about licensing the Hardy Boys theme song that is most synonymous with duo. The song "Loaded" is the name of it. Isn't actually owned by WWE, despite it being used for over 2 decades for Matt and Jeff Hardy. Produced by Zach Tempest, that actually appeared on Spike TV commercials and other things. So Tempest is who owns that song. Produced by the Holly Cousins theme that was used in similar. There you go. So. All right, so I guess a band called Tempest owns it, or a guy named Zach Tempest, a producer, owns that song. There you go. For those who have asked, WWE does not have rights to No More Words either, so all AEW can use that also. All right, obviously we know what song he's using. He's using the old one, which is I loved it. The crowd fucking lit the fuck up tonight hearing that shit.
Mm-hmm. I personally got a kick out of the fact that he took some time to do his little pose and dance that he always does before he went in to make the save.
His brother's getting his ass kicked by 6 guys, not 2, not 3, 6 guys, and Jeff had to fucking flail around and gyrate before he runs in to save his brother.
I mean, he probably deserved it a little bit, I think, is what Jeff was thinking. He probably, might have wronged him in the past.
I think maybe the moment hit him, and he just, it was habit. It was habit. But I thought it was pretty cool. I really did. I thought it was pretty cool seeing Jeff Hardy out there tonight, man. Awesome shit. Awesome shit. And we'll get into that a little more later. But We're almost done with this pay-per-view. We ain't got that many more matches left. But that CM Punk MJF match was something else, man. Fucking something else. Yeah, if you don't watch the pay-per-view, just watch that match and you'll be just fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, this match I actually enjoyed pretty good. Pretty much, too, was the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa. A lot of people not happy Rosa didn't get that title, but 3 days later, she's got another title shot. So let's all calm down a little bit here.
Right.
Yeah, calm down. But pretty good match. There was some fuckery going on with Rebel, and Rebel just kept jumping up on the fucking thing, and I don't know how many times she fucking jumped up on the apron, but it kind of got old at one point.
I think that was the sort of crux of everybody's complaints about that. It was just that that's kind of been the pattern, the MO for Britt Baker title matches. There's always a lot of fuckery involved. There's never really a clean win. It's always like a lot of just overproduced, overbooked, shenanigans, tomfoolery, if you will. I mean, I don't want to get go blue, but there's a little bit of tomfoolery going. Like Christopher Cain was saying, in his opinion, Britt Baker's gotten stale. I've seen a lot of people complaining that it's just sort of the same thing every time, in terms of the matches with just overbooked with too many interferences and distractions and things like that.
Maybe. Like I said, I thought this match was better than the other women's match, so.
Yeah, of the three, I feel like it was the best because I did see the pre-show match, and it was Layla Hirsch versus Chris Statlander. That was not great.
Really?
No, they just, I don't know, they just don't have good chemistry together. Like, their timing was off. Layla Hirsch had some miscues. It wasn't great. And the crowd was still kind of into it, but it just wasn't their best work.
I almost think because Layla Hirsch is so tiny, they're like afraid to hurt her.
Well, that is the thing. I wonder if that is kind of some of the problem. Is not only is Layla Hirsch small, but Chris Statlander is tall. Like, they're both kind of the extreme on both sides. You have somebody who's tall for a woman and short for a woman, so it's it's sort of a weird mixed match.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's, I guess, give her a little more time. I think Hirsch is pretty new to this whole thing, so we'll
I like her, but she's got some stuff she needs to work on. Sean in the chat here is not a fan. He just said Hirsch sucks.
Yeah.
Just being full on honest about it.
Well, I'm glad he sugarcoated it at least. I mean, it's always better when our chat room is just so, eloquent about their answers.
And like a boo tonight. I've seen a lot of people that are just like, this part sucked, or I hate this person. People are fired up. I like it.
I know, man. Christopher Cain just jumped right in here talking about dick sucking. Self-dick sucking. No, it's not. I don't want anyone to think he just comes in the chat and starts talking about sucking dick. It's not.
You're on your own on this one.
John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Next matchup. That's how I'm getting out of that one. Fucking loved it, man. Fucking loved it. Everything about this match. I thought it was great. Second best match on the card. Second best match of the night. You could argue both of these two matches, I would say, already for match of the year, and we're only in fucking March. So loved this match, but of course my favorite part was after the match, when I heard the loudest pop I've heard in a long time, when fucking Regal came out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I think there wasn't really any expectations behind it. Like, no, I hadn't seen anywhere that people were saying that he might show up. Like, obviously there was a lot of people that were thinking that, maybe Jeff shows up on that pay-per-view, or any number of the other people who have been free, but his name was never really lobbied about. So just seeing him come back, and then just as unexpected as it was, and everybody was going nuts, I was pleasantly surprised as well.
Yeah, absolutely loved him coming out. He came out like the pissed off fucking grizzled veteran that he is, had a fucking scowl on his face, went in the ring, fucking got right in Moxley's face, got blood all over his fucking forehead from going like, forehead to forehead with Moxley, like rubbed his, like butted heads with them, slapped both the guys. Dude, Regal is a fucking beast, man. I fucking love that guy. Always have, man. Thought he's been great. Can't believe he's been 39 fucking years this year. He's been in the business, but great shit from him tonight, too, by the way. Really good shit. He almost shed a tear when he was talking to old Tony, didn't he?
Yeah, it was very sentimental.
I thought he was, and he was like, I can't do this. I've got to be tough.
Yeah, he was flooded with emotions, and I think he had a lot to say. I think he's been in WWE for so long that he's like not used to being able to talk without shackles.
Yeah.
So he kind of like meandered a little bit, but
well,
it was all authentic, so that was at least made it enjoyable.
Well, he kept saying, "I'm riddled with it." Not sure if he was saying, "I'm finally free and I've got so much to say." I think that's what maybe that's what that means. And
I'm allowed to talk. I didn't have to memorize the script. Fucking
he really put over fucking Brian.
Mm-hmm.
For William Regal to call you the perfect wrestler. Holy shit. Brian, he looked like he was about to cry when he said that. Brian Danielson, yeah.
I was seeing a lot of like memes and stuff on Twitter of just like, because he like went into exhaustive detail about how much he loves and respects and appreciates Danielson, and then he like got to backstage. He's like, "You're pretty good too, man."
And he's like, "And you're a sadistic son of a bitch, and that's great."
It's like the one child that like went to fucking Ivy League college, and then the other one is just like works at a pizza place or whatever. Just like, yeah, you're still trying too, but
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, how are the kids? Oh, Muffy's doing great. She's got this great job. She's doing this. She just graduated here. She just graduated there. And Billy over there, he's Billy over there with the beer. Yeah, he works at Pizza Hut.
Steve was telling me that he watched some TV the other day. It's like, yeah, boy.
He still said some nice things about Moxley tonight, but
oh yeah, he did. He put him over too. But it was just funny that he was like, "You are the perfect wrestler. You are God's gift to wrestling." And then he gets to Moxley, and he's like, "You're a pretty mean guy." Now, I don't know why he talked like Vince, but it's just my sort of memory of the situation.
That's all right. It's all right. But good stuff there, man. Great match right there. Definitely good win by Moxley there. And like I said, Regal stole the fucking night from me. He stole the night from me. I was so glad to see him. And there were rumors going around, like reports. It was probably ringside news. It's almost a done deal. He's going to Impact.
Huh.
Well, I guess not.
Interesting. I hadn't seen that. I mean, I believe you, but I just hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I did? Yeah, I saw that like last week. They were talking about that, and I was like, man, poor Regal.
I know. I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. And then I saw him on that, that I had already seen him coming down on the pay-per-view. That I just couldn't, I had to watch it. So I watched it again last night. I'm like, my God, it's better the second time. Great pop for him, though, man. Great. That crowd absolutely loved him coming down, and it was just great to see. And, he does have some history with both those guys, obviously, the NXT history. I loved how in the beginning of the promo he goes, "I'm obviously not needed at my other job."
Like, they're not asking me to come back.
Or wait, my services are no longer required, I think he said.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty funny. That was pretty good stuff. Man, I guess we're reviewing both shows a little bit here, which it's just going to cut down our AEW review, which is fine with me.
Yeah, multitasking.
Absolutely. So, all right, we get the AHFO next. Who gives a fuck? Versus Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting. Tornado rules. This was pretty much a clusterfuck the whole time, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun, but, like, that's the thing is we were talking about it being kind of a long show, and like with it being quarterly pay-per-views anyway, 4 pay-per-views a year, it being a longer show isn't really that big of a deal. But I feel like you could, if you wanted to trim some of the fat between, the TBS title match and this match, you eliminate those, and that takes away probably about an hour or so of time.
Right.
Makes things a little bit more brisk. But for the match, for what it was fun. But it was one of those things that could have been on an episode of Dynamite. I enjoyed the props to Sting, though, for being in his fucking 60s and taking that balcony dive.
Sting turned 63 in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Not only taking that balcony dive, but it looked like he took out the other table with his head.
Yeah, kind of.
It did not look good. Obviously,
Yeah, it just looked like he just more or less just fell forward. Which, I mean, again, the guy is 60, but like having the balls to take the bump itself is impressive enough.
Yeah, that was a pretty rough bump for a guy his age. I mean, like I said, in 2 weeks, I think it's like the 24th or something, he turned 63. So, I mean, I don't know anyone 62 years old that wants to do shit like that. I mean, him and PCO should just start a fucking tag team and call themselves the Invincibles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, PCO is up there in age doing crazy shit too, but here's the thing. Sting doesn't have to do this shit. The guy is a fucking legend, an icon in the business. He doesn't have to do this.
Right.
I think it's like he feels he has to not show up Darby Allin, but be as crazy as he is. And no, you don't, dude. You don't have to do this thing. I mean, it's awesome when you do, but I don't need to see him put his life on the line like this. This guy breaks a hip, it's over, dude.
Yeah, I mean that is for sure. But it just looks like he's having a lot of fun out there, and I do kind of enjoy just him. Like every match that he's in, just at random points, he decides just to completely no sell. He's like, fuck it, I'm not selling this, and I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah,
it seems like it comes at random every time, but it's always fun for me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the crowd loves when he comes out and fucking, loves the shit he's doing. So, what are you gonna do? But good stuff there. You guys know that Darby Allin and Sami and Sting won that match, and it was a pretty good match. But it was a clusterfuck most of the time. I love tornado tags. I really do. I think 6-man tornado tags are a little too much, though.
It does make it hard to keep up with, but
yeah. I'm down with the tornado tag matches, though. I really like those. And then we got to the last match here. We got to the Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole. It was a battle of the Atoms.
Mm-hmm. At one point, because the crowd, like again, was a 5-hour show.
Yeah.
So the crowd started getting bored, and they were having fun with it at the beginning, because there was a "Let's Go Adam" chant.
Yes, there was. I did hear that. The crowd was definitely trolling themselves, kind of. But they were having some fun with it. It was, I mean, not a bad match. Don't get me wrong. How many goddamn false finishes do we need, though?
Yeah, I can see that not being the most enjoyable thing to watch.
I mean, I get it. I know it's suspenseful. But I mean, it's just like one after another, after another, after another. It's like, you know what? I just want at this point, just fucking end it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just stop. But a lot of shit happened in this match. Good fucking match though. Hangman did end up obviously retaining. We found that. We did see that tonight too. It was a pretty good match. Obviously there was some Dark Order had to come down there and get involved, and Hangman wasn't too happy about that. But, because Red Dragon was down there. Like I said, it was pretty much just a clusterfuck the whole time. People coming in, people running out. And just too many goddamn false finishes for me, man. I got tired of them after a while. I think after like the 8th one, I just picked up my phone.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care so much about the false finishes, but it just got to the point with that where I feel like they kind of suffered because I don't think anybody realistically thought Adam Cole was going to win the match. And it's the last match on a show that was pretty long. So, like, a lot of people were kind of checked out anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't pick up my phone, but I did turn the commentary off and I was, like, listening to music while I was watching it just so I could kind of keep focusing. Because it just, after a while, it just kind of took a little bit out of you. But it wasn't their fault. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, I know it's not, but I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. The match was good between these two guys. I really don't think we needed all the interference with everybody. I think that was a little overproduced and overbooked, but there was nothing wrong with the match between the two guys. Nothing at all.
Right.
Nothing at all. Dirk is saying that NXT Adam Cole is different than AEW Adam Cole. Everybody who leaves WWE is completely different when they leave. They're themselves. They don't have to be this character that they're not behind.
You know, I was seeing a lot of people that were actually complaining about the way that they've been using Adam Cole. I don't see what the gripe is because, I mean, he has a world title match and they had him win every one of his matches, but I've been seeing people saying that he deserves better and that they're not using him properly, and never really see an explanation as to why that is or how they feel that way, but that's what some people are saying.
All right, if you say Jay Lethal, I'm going to go with you on that. But Cole has been pretty much up in the main event scene since he walked in the door. Very recently walked in the door.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I don't agree.
No, me neither.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. So, and that was pretty much the show, man. Like I said, I thought it was a really good show.
Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a long show. It did last a long time. And with the pre-show, it was even longer, which I didn't even watch the pre-show. But
I watched the pre-show. They're like, All Out is supposed to be their big show. They don't necessarily go out of their way to say that that's their big show because that's a smart move. Because I hate when companies try to be like, "Well, this is our WrestleMania." It's like, well, no, you can't just say that. You have to have a track record that like leads people to believe that. But like I said, All Out is supposed to be their like big show of the year. But Revolution has always been like the 2020 Revolution I really enjoyed, and then 2021 was also pretty good. It's just that was the same pay-per-view that had the anticlimactic bomb in the bomb match.
Very true.
And sort of the overpromised, underdelivered signings, because that was when Christian debuted, and everybody thought it was going to be this monumental signing, and it was just Christian. But this year they got it way back. This was one of my favorite pay-per-views that they've ever done. It was like they learned their lesson and they didn't super hype any of the debuts because we had Swerve come out and he had signed his contract or whatever, and then you had Regal come out. People weren't expecting that, and then all the other matches and goings on the show were pretty enjoyable.
I forgot about Swerve. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
he was on tonight too. So, but. And you know, though, it kind of seems like this is their big show because if you notice tonight, they pushed the reset button on a few storylines.
They did
on AEW, and we'll get into that in just a little. Honestly, we do not have. We've got 5 news stories between the both of us here. There's not a lot of stuff to get into.
I think that's like sort of the thing to praise them for is because like with WWE, sometimes it feels like their storylines just never end. It's just sometimes they just forget that there's a feud or they just drop it. Whereas like with AEW, you know, not all of it is incredible, but they have conclusive endings to feuds, at least for the most part, barring an injury or unforeseen circumstance.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They do. And yeah, I mean, listen, I think the way they did it on Dynamite tonight was right. Every storyline got wrapped up with a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not exactly a complete reason, but at least they got wrapped up and you know why it ended and where it ended.
Right.
So, good stuff right there, though. Good show, and but like I said, I think this seems like their bigger show of the year because usually that's when you do your reset button and you start switching up storylines and doing this, and they changed a lot from Sunday to tonight. I mean, a bunch of storylines changed, and we'll get into that at the end here. But let's jump into a little bit of news because that's really all we got is a little bit of news. Good news. Let's get into some, well, kind of good news. Everyone had been pushing for this many years ago. That's Vader finally getting into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
WWE Hall of Fame is what I'm talking about. People were thinking that Undertaker was going to be a solo this year. I didn't think it was going to happen like that at all. I had no, this is too big of a night for them. A money maker. They have to have more people to sell everybody. But Vader is going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And it's funny, a bunch of the wrestlers were posting some rare pictures of themselves with Vader as they were commenting on it. Ric Flair posted a picture of him. Vader lifted him up. Just great stuff from all these. Let's see, we have JBL chimed in, well-deserved honor, one of the best big men in the business. Triple H, of course, chimed in with his imposing size and unbelievable agility. I can't speak tonight. Vader was more than just a great big man. In front of the camera, he was Vader. Behind the camera, Leon White was respected by his peers. For his accomplishments and much more, proud to say he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. There we go. That's Triple H. Ric Flair, you will go down in history as one of my toughest people, as one of the toughest people I ever competed against. Congrats at It's Vader time on being inducted into the 2022 WWE Hall of Fame. Mick Foley, of course, chimed in too. I don't need to read all of these.
Just the exhaustion behind that is like, yeah, Mick Foley had to say something.
Big E chimed in. I'm done reading all this shit. Just a bunch of it. But a lot of people posted on this, and it was some pretty good stuff though. But really good stuff there. But like I said, people were pushing for this years ago when Vader was still here on this earth, and they just kind of ignored it. And it just seems like they don't do anything until they're either low on people or the people are already gone. And, God forbid, they can't say anything bad about the company now, can they?
Right. Or perhaps do anything that the company might regret, or, having them associated with.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, Vader really he didn't really go out and get in trouble or anything. He was...
Right. No, I'm not saying anything to disparage his reputation or anything, but I wonder if that's a little bit of a strategic move on their behalf of just like making sure that it's not going to blow up in their face if they go out of their way to honor somebody, because it has in the past.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It has. But it really would have been cool for Vader to be able to give his own speech. But we'll see who inducts him and all that stuff.
They're saying apparently that it's going to be pretty condensed this year. That some of the inductions are going to be done digitally, and that the bulk, this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, but the bulk of the show is going to be dedicated to The Undertaker. So some of the guys might not get a whole hell of a lot of time to speak. So it's just a matter of who that's going to be and whatnot. But I'm curious to see what the video package that they put out on Vader is going to look like, because I feel like they're going to have to do a lot of retconning. Because he absolutely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame based on just WCW, Japan, that kind of stuff. But, I remember his WWF run, and it was not good. And that was not really his fault. They were not, it wasn't his fault that they had him go out there, straight up say, I'm a fat piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do own the WCW stuff, too, so...
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of WCW footage, my guess.
Yeah, I mean, thank God they own that too. So, All right. Smark.
Yeah.
Go for it.
All right. Well, from one big man to another, I suppose. This is from F4W Online. Even though he hasn't been in AEW in ring since November 2021, Miro's future with the company appears to be firm. As as Fightful reported on Wednesday that the former TNT champion has signed a 4-year extension. They reported the deal will keep Miro in AEW through, quote, at least the start of 2026. Yeah, that's how 4 years works. They added that the two sides agreed to terms in late 2021, but that it took some time for the contract to get officially signed. Outside a handful of short vignettes, Miro hasn't been seen in AEW since his November 13th full-year loss to Bryan Danielson in the finals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. No reasons have been given for his absence. He has wrestled just twice since losing the TNT title to Sammy Guevara on the September 29th edition of Dynamite, both in November. After being released by WWE in April 2020, the former Rusev debuted in AEW on September 9th, 2020 as Kip Sabian's best friend. We all love that, for his impending wedding to Penelope Ford. He eventually split with Sabin and went on his own path as a singles wrestler, defeating Darby Allin for the TNT title in May 2021 and holding it until the aforementioned Guevara defeat. I'm glad that they gave you sort of a timeline on this, too. That doesn't seem like they padded it out to have longer paragraphs. Somebody just decided to copy and paste a Wikipedia article in the mist. Who should we credit for this? Let's see. I don't even think their name's present.
Josh Nason.
Yeah. Oh, everybody knows Josh Nason.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Big Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, call him Big J. That's what we call him around here. Big J.
Right. He's a relative of Big Andy.
Relative of Big E.
Mm-hmm.
Big J, Big E, Big A.
Wasn't that fucking... he teamed with fucking Luke Gallows when they were in WWE together. It was like Big J.
No, it wasn't. You're thinking of Brody's son. Not Jam Master J.
No, that's Run DMC.
What am I thinking?
I'll find it here in a second. It was Jesse and Festus, but I don't remember. That was a team. But before that, they called them something else, and it was started with a J.
Yeah, yeah. I'm good. I'm glad Miro signed again. I mean, honestly, where else is he going to go at this point? Number one, but number two, he's pretty good.
Slam Master J.
Slam Master J. Thank you.
He was Terry Gordy's son from Chattanooga, Tennessee. How about that?
Well, I said Gordy's son, and I said Jam Master J. I was very close. I was on the track.
You said Brody's son.
You're right. I did. You're right. Okay, I was close.
Relatively speaking, yeah.
I was thinking Gordy. I don't know why I said Brody. And I said Jam Master J. I was on the right track with that, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got no problem with that. I'm down. I just wish they would use him a little more. The guy is awesome when he goes out there. He's a fucking intimidating force when he's out there, and I like seeing him. So I just wish they'd use him more. But I guess now they really either use him or pay him, and don't use him. It's up to you.
Yeah, I was wondering if he was injured because we just haven't, like you said, haven't seen him, haven't heard from him for quite a while. So we'll see, I guess, because they ended up re-signing him, and surprisingly enough, they ended up re-signing Brian Cage too.
Yeah, that was a little shocking, even to him.
Yeah, that sort of got buried because the same day that happened, Cesaro left, and then that became a way bigger deal. So unfortunately, Brian Cage got outstaged.
Once again.
Yes.
Once again, poor guy. But yeah, man, I'm definitely down to see that. So definitely like seeing Miro around a lot longer here. I guess I'll get into this real quick. Not much to really go on this story here. But last week we mentioned Cain Velasquez.
Mm-hmm.
And he was denied bail. Now, from what the story is saying is he shot the stepfather and not the guy that actually did this. So you're going to see him probably go to jail for a while.
Yeah, it's not looking great for him.
No, it's really not. And like I said, I mean, I see all this hashtag free Cain Velasquez stuff out there. Listen, I said there were going to be more charges than just the attempted murder because you got to start questioning the gun. You got to start questioning if it was legal. You got to do this. You got to do that. He also discharged a firearm in city limits. I don't care where the fuck you live. You cannot fire a gun in city limits. You think you can fire a gun in California city limits? You can barely own a gun in California.
Which I believe he also did it into a car. So
right.
That's another thing. But yeah, I agree with the sentiment, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, he might get a kind of a sympathetic jury that might give him a light sentence, but they're gonna have to do something to this guy. They're gonna have to make an example of him. You can't do it. I mean, listen, I know where his mind was. I totally get it. I completely get it. I don't know if I would have done anything different, to be honest with you. If it was my kid, let's just put it that way. I probably have better aim than him, but
yeah, heat of the moment, I get it.
Yeah, I do too. But listen, there's definite consequences to what he did, and like I said, there's many charges. It's not just the gun; it's firing a gun in city limits, firing a gun. Carrying a gun with the intent to commit a felony.
Yeah,
that's intent. This is bad. This is not good. I got a feeling we're looking at 5 to 10.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, probably something like that. Like you said, I don't blame him. I would have probably liked to have hoped that I would have done the same thing too. It seems like in that situation, I think like we all would have probably at least had that thought of getting revenge. So it's entirely understandable. Like, I don't fault him one bit, but like you said, unfortunately there are rules in place, so he is going to have to face some sort of a penalty for that. So, but we'll see how that goes. Well,
yeah, and I just wanted to bring that up because we did bring it up last week. But yeah, he was 100% denied bail. There's no bail in a murder case. There's no bail in an attempted murder case, and this is definitely going to be a bad one for him. He just another perfect storm gone wrong. So not much we can really do on this, but I got a feeling we're looking at 5 to 10. If he gets 5 years, he'll do 2.5 to 3, and he'll be out on probation. So
right,
won't be that bad for him, but definitely they're going to have to make an example of this guy. They're going to have to, 100%. I don't care how many hashtags you put out there, it's not going to help him, folks. It's not.
No,
it's not going to do anything. This is the judicial system that you people complain about, and if they let him go, you're going to complain that our justice system sucks. You see where?
Which, like you said, we'll see what happens in terms of like who ends up on the jury. That's kind of. I mean, listen, the only variable in the situation.
Listen, if his lawyer has a brain, he gets as many parents on that jury as possible. Let's just put it that way. If this even goes, he may plead. It might not even go to a jury trial, which he may just take a plea deal, which I wouldn't doubt if that happened. And this just got settled, and he did his time and got out. So we'll see what happens. But I'm sorry, you can't do that. You just can't do what he did. And being he's famous, he's actually going to be more under the heat lamp than if he was just some poor schlub out there who fucked up.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it's probably the case.
Yeah, most definitely. So, yeah, all right, there we go. Good luck to Cain Velasquez. I hope he gets a sympathetic jury, but we'll have to see what happens.
Right.
All right, Smart, you got one more, and then I've got one more, and I do have some audio we can play of this one that I've got, but go ahead and hit it, man.
Yes. So, Cain Velasquez saying it's a little bit more divisive, but this one I think we can all have fun laughing about. What was thought to be a done deal a few weeks ago is now up in the air as Cody Rhodes' status with returning to WWE has apparently changed. F4W Online, Dave Meltzer discussed the situation on the most recent Wrestling Observer Radio, saying the creative plans had already laid out for his return, but something has caused uncertainty. Quote, his status has changed in theory, Meltzer said of Rhodes. He was on the books in WWE. They actually don't write that in the story here, but I'm just assuming that he probably said it a couple of times because that's how Meltzer talks. They had creative laid out for him. They still thought on Friday that they had creative laid out for him. Now it's very uncertain. They don't know what's going on with Cody Rhodes. They're not sure. In mid-February, Rhodes announced he and his wife, Brandy, wouldn't be returning to AEW, where he was a founding member and executive vice president and a former 3-time TNT champion.
Oh,
that's always important. Quote, they, meaning WWE, thought they had him. It's not like it's dead. It's not like they think they don't have him, but they're not sure. Meltzer said. He didn't indicate or discuss if returning to AEW was an option, acknowledging some online fan sentiment that this whole thing is an angle to have him run Ring of Honor, which AEW head Tony Khan just purchased.
So they're saying it could be a work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really don't know where to go on this one right now.
I was also seeing, and what I hope is absolutely true, but I don't think it's been confirmed yet, that they offered him a fuck ton of money, and then the statement came out that he was leaving, and then they offered him significantly less, which I hope is true. It's not been confirmed yet, but that is one of the rumors out there, and dear God, do I hope it's true, because if he ended up playing himself, that is going to be hilarious.
Oh, that would be funny. That's what happens when you suck your own dick too much. Right, Christopher Cain?
Yep. Because, that's the thing now is, like, what are you going to do? Like, if he doesn't come back and he goes to AEW again, like, people are just going to laugh and mock him endlessly.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, man. I think a lot of people started after he didn't show up at this Madison Square Garden show. It kind of bummed people out a little bit, and I don't know, man. I really don't know even what to believe on this anymore. I still think this was all the plan the whole time. I think he might have. I think he leaked his own information about WWE, and I don't know, man. Listen, people still see Elvis. Okay, just leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
There's still Elvis sightings out there, folks. I can think this whole Cody thing is a work. I'm allowed.
Cody Rhodes in Blue Hawaii too.
Ooh, no.
I can get behind Cody Rhodes making us a whole bunch of fucking movies that are all sort of relatively similar.
Well, Elvis just played himself in every movie.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to politely say.
Yeah, pretty much. That's really all he ever did. Listen, guy made 29 films.
I made a fuck ton of money too. I can't fault him, man.
Get ton of money. Let me tell you something. That man's Christmas album still sells the most every year. Up to this day, that man still sells the best Christmas album every year. He's up there on the charts for sales.
We have absolutely talked about this before, but since we're talking about it again, I recommend everyone just check out those fucking Mad TV Elvis skits that Will Sasso did. They're just phenomenal.
There you go. Tubi actually has a few Elvis documentaries on there. If you jump on Tubi, you can check out a few of those. They've got a few of the documentaries on him. But cool stuff, man. Cool stuff with him. But anyway, we don't need to talk about Elvis. But the Cody Rhodes thing, I don't know, man. It all seems very egotistical, which seems very Cody Rhodes, which is that's mainly what has me skeptical on the situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, but just the idea of maybe that they're lowballing him now that it's public knowledge that he was going to be going there is funny. The idea that he might have leaked his information out to potentially make more money off AEW and then that didn't work, that's equally funny. It's like just the idea that, like, basically it seems like it has completely blown up in his face, unless this is actually the whole plan all along was just it's going to be him running not AEW, Ring of Honor.
Right.
But outside of that, like, I don't know what else he could possibly do at this point.
I have no clue, man. I don't know. But I got a feeling we're going to see him. I think he's going to either have something to do with Ring of Honor or is just going to come back to AEW, and they're just going to hit reset. He'll be able to go for all his titles again, and it'll be like he just walked back in the door. So, I don't know. But we'll see. It wouldn't hurt to have him. I guess, but did he have that much to do with Ring of Honor's success? No, not at all. So I don't know why they would put him doing anything with Ring of Honor when you got Samoa Joe out there right now who is going to be looking for a fucking job soon. So, actually, I think like today or tomorrow, I know today was Jeff Hardy's 90 days was up today. Wasn't Samoa Joe the same day? No,
I don't think so, because Samoa Joe was part of a round of releases,
which was before the Jeff Hardy thing. Was it after?
Yeah, I'm doing a quick looky loo here. That's the official term for that, by the way. Not research. I'm doing a looky loo. I can't remember exactly when. I do believe it was in December, though.
Well, either way, Joe is going to be out there looking for shit. You're right, it was because I think it might have been right after New Year's. Could be. Yeah, no, you're right. It was in December or November, late November. Right after Thanksgiving, I think it was. But,
January 6th, 2022, Joe once again released from his WWE contract.
Okay, so it was January. All right, so January, February. Okay, so he'll be looking to get. He just came off his too. Wouldn't you put Joe in that situation with ROH? I mean, kind of Samoa Joe did do a few things for ROH.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cody can sit around and suck his own dick with Brandy for a while. Just let him sit on the fucking back burner for a little while longer. It's not going to fucking hurt anybody. And I'll tell you the truth, I've seen the shows improve.
Oh yes, they have gotten significantly better. There's far less wasted time.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I will say I give you credit though for putting on a brave face about this and trying your best to move on without being able to watch Roads to the Top.
I know, man. I mean, I'm hoping to continue. I'd never watched one fucking episode. My wife said it was fucking embarrassingly awful.
I would be willing to bet that it is. It seems like it was like the Miz and Maurice show, but just like without the sense of humor that like people like about that show.
At least Miz can be likable.
Yeah, like Miz and Maurice it's basically a sitcom.
Yeah, and like I said, Miz is likable, and whether you like Maurice or not, she loves and lives for the Miz, and that comes off on camera at least. So there's good stuff to that show. My wife just has at least watched a couple episodes of that, but she said that Road to the Top was just absolutely embarrassingly awful.
It seems terribly self-aggrandizing, but
if she knew the stories about Cody, maybe she'd think it was worse. But
well, see, there you go, though. That's from somebody who has no prior prejudice towards Cody Rhodes.
No, not at all. But anywho, something else that we had talked about making a return actually looks like it's coming sort of true. We don't know if it's going to be a match. We don't know what it's going to be yet. But Stone Cold has agreed to come in at WrestleMania.
Yes.
For something with Kevin Owens. They have not said what it is yet. They just said, right now they're saying it's going to be the KO show.
Yeah, that's what they're saying at the moment, that it's going to be the KO show.
Could turn into a match, but we did get a nice little promo by Stone Cold, which I can play it if you want me to. It's about a minute and a half long.
Sure.
Okay, let me get some volume here. Let me get this. Let me get my phone. Let me put my face in front of it, and let me hit play. He's driving, so I went through about 26 seconds of it already. And he's getting out of his vehicle, Stone Cold.
19 years ago, I wrestled my last match in a WWE ring. After 3 rock bottoms, 1, 2, 3, I lost the match. And for 19 years, I've had to live with that defeat, knowing my time was up. Kevin Owens, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for waking something up deep inside me that I've kept buried for 19 years. Ever since you started running that damn mealy mouth of yours talking about the state of Texas, the great state of Texas, you got my attention. And why would you want to do that, Kevin? I can think of 2 reasons. One, you are one dumb son of a bitch. And 2, you are fixing to get your ass kicked by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Whether you want to call this a KO show, a match, a fight, a brawl, whatever, I will guarantee you this. In Dallas, Texas, where I started my career at WrestleMania, Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to open up one last can of whoop ass on you, Kevin Owens. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I can't wait to hear that glass break.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, and that fucking crowd pop. Holy hell, man. I can't fucking wait. It's going to be good shit, man. And again, this could lead to a match. We don't know yet. But the Mania card is looking all right. Again, I haven't watched much WWE. I'll definitely be watching WrestleMania, though. I don't know if we're going to go live for any of it. We'll talk about that one.
As we shall see. I'm going to watch it too, but I mean, they haven't done a terrible lot to incentivize me doing so. It's more just ritual at the moment.
Oh, it's not even that. It's just I don't want to do. I'd be taking the room from the kids for the whole weekend. I don't know if
right. I mean, I'm just saying in general, watching WrestleMania,
right.
It's like it's more of a ritual than anything at the moment. It's not necessarily incentivized. I'm not clamoring for it.
Right.
I am not marking out the dates on my calendar.
Right. So we can run down the card real quick. Right now, what they have for right now, here's the card right this minute. Night 1, which is going to be April 2nd. Obviously, the April 1st Friday night is going to be the Hall of Fame. And then we're going to night 1 right here. It's Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte versus Ronda. Raw Women's Championship, Becky versus Bianca. Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. Stone Cold Steve Austin will be confronting Kevin Owens. That's all it says is to confront. That's all it says.
Yeah, so I mean, the SPC in the chat here is probably going to be having a great time with that because it appears as though, according to the rundown, Baron Corbin might be main eventing WrestleMania at least one night.
That's only 5 things going on. They're going to add stuff.
Well, probably, but as it stands right now, unless anything changes, which it will, in a month, which it will.
Yeah. Well, put it this way: the last thing that's mentioned on the second night card is Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. I doubt that's going to main event.
You never know.
So
a 60-minute Broadway between Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
All right, so let's just go from the bottom up here. Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville, Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory, AJ Styles versus Edge. We've got the Women's Tag Team Championships. That's going to be the triple threat tag match with Zelina and Carmella, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Liv Morgan. Then we've got right now the championship match. This is supposed to be a winner-takes-all unification match, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. So, card's not looking bad right now. Honestly, the best match on the card right now, to me, for both nights, looks like this Lesnar-Roman Reigns match so far.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, I'm looking at Charlotte and Ronda. It's not going to be bad. It's just going to be Charlotte doing horrible moonsaults as usual. Mm-hmm. So, not bad, though. But I think it's going to be cool to see Stone Cold come back out. And I don't know, man. He was kind of talking like he's ready for a fight, talking about 19 years, something's been growing in me and deep inside. And this sounds like it's leading to a match, if you ask me.
Hopefully they're being them being ambiguous about it is more so to make sure that everything is, medically cleared. Austin's good to go. He doesn't change his mind or anything like that. Well,
you got to have something to do at WrestleMania Backlash, right?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Got to have something to do there. So
I swear to God, wasn't last year they had like 2 or 3 different like WrestleMania theme shows? And I don't mean like night 1 and night 2, but like you said, it was like WrestleMania Backlash, and it was like WrestleMania Extreme Rules, and it was just like it got to be fucking ridiculous.
yeah, I think it was just WrestleMania Backlash, and that was it. I think I could be wrong.
Been.
I could be.
I'm
wrong.
gonna look up their pay-per-views from last year, but it seemed like they were just on a real WrestleMania kick for a while there.
Yeah, imagine that. All right. So I guess we can. Man, that's all the news we got. I mean, Revolution pretty much took over the news cycle this week. There was a few other things to get into, but nothing really worth talking about. And we've talked about a lot of this stuff already from AEW, so I guess we'll just knock it out.
Sure.
As you look that up, because I do remember you are looking that up. All right, we get Jericho coming out first. Crowd singing to him, looking all... I got to tell you, I was kind of expecting him to turn tonight. He was a little too babyface looking in the beginning of the show. Says Sunday was the best night of his life, even though he lost. Said it maybe even his best match ever, but probably in AEW's best match. He brings up that he refused to shake Eddie Kingston's hand. Says he wants to pay that debt. Calls out Kingston. Eddie comes out once again. First of all, once again, it seems like Eddie is just starting to speak from the heart and kind of really coming into his own with promos. Not that he was ever bad, but it just seems like he's almost gotten, I don't know, better or more comfortable on television, maybe.
Perhaps.
So he came out, mic in hand, had to yell at a fan for what chanting.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Stone Cold's not even here, bro. Okay. Just thought it was really cool. They shake hands. 2.0 comes out, right? They got Daniel Garcia with them. They all jump Eddie and Jericho. And then Santana and Ortiz come out. And they got the bat. One of them, well, Ortiz has the bat. Santana grabs Daniel Garcia. Jericho plays like he's about to hit Garcia, but ends up hitting Santana. 2.0 and Santana and 2.0 and Jericho all work together. Take out Santana, Ortiz, Kingston. Hager comes out and starts taking out Santana and Ortiz. So looks like they are out. Well, this was the first storyline they hit a complete reset on. Inner Circle is done. After Hager puts Kingston through a table outside the ring, Jericho...
Which he almost dropped him.
He did, twice he almost dropped him.
I felt bad for like everybody involved. It's like, okay, come on. Kingston's not that heavy. Like, Hager is a fucking monster. Like, it shouldn't be that hard for him. But they had to, like, Jericho had to help reposition him so he didn't, like, drop Kingston on his head.
Oh,
yeah. Like, that had to been kind of scary. And then I don't know how great of a bump he took through that table was. Hopefully he's all right after that.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty high on the neck, head, and back.
Yeah.
But after that, Jericho announces his new group name as the Jericho Appreciation Society. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's a placeholder.
I hope.
I can't see them all just like willingly referring to themselves as Jericho Appreciation Society.
I wonder if there was any. Let me see something here. Have they done any crazy trademark names lately?
You would know better than I. I don't do as well of a job at keeping up with the copyrights as you do.
Let me go to AEW's Trademarkia, All Elite Wrestling Trademarkia. I have it bookmarked. Hold on a second here. The Paragon was the one that we talked about a little while ago. Paragon was one of the names. And they actually have Paragon with a little logo here, which let me see if I can post this in the chat. Give me a second. It's the trademark information, but you can see what the logo looks like. And this kind of looks like something Jericho might actually put on something. So let me get over to the chat here. Paste. This is the good thing about using one computer. All right, there we go. If you want to check that out, you can see the logo. It looks, let me try to describe it here. Looks like barbed wire, kind of. It's shaped like an 8, but where the 8 connects, it's got a space in between it, so it looks like almost like the barb to a fishing hook, if you put two fishing hooks together opposite. I guess that's what I fish. I guess that's what I would call that. And it just says Paragon on top.
It kind of depends on how you look at it, because it could either be an 8 or it could be like an infinity symbol.
Yeah, you're right. It could be either one. The way they have it now, it looks like an infinity symbol.
Right. Yeah, that's what I interpreted it as. But
Well,
we're going to see.
I was looking at it like this. So.
That just looks painful.
Yeah, well, that's just trust me. That's as far as it'll go. And look, my shoulder's doing most of that work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, JAS Dirk. Is that not horrible? And I hope Smark is right. I would even go with this Paragon name. That's fine. But that's the only other they. This was back in 2021. Watch Your Wrestling. They trademark. What the fuck? WYW.
Watch Your Wrestling.
Now they did trademark in 2021 Blood Brothers. We never got anything with that. So I don't know.
I don't even know what to look for, but maybe you'll remember it better than I. But there was a weird thing that like WWE trademarked for a minute, where it was like, "Don't say anything negative about us" or something.
Complaining is not
conversation. There we go. I figured we'd get there after a while, but
yes.
Yeah, it just made me think of that for a minute, of just equally shitty trademark names.
And I don't know if we ever talked about this, but AEW does own the King of Hearts trademark.
Yeah, I think we talked about this because we were talking about their involvement with Martha Hart and the tournament and things like that.
Yeah, but Paragon... Maybe Jericho didn't like it. Maybe they're thinking of something else. But that's the only one that they've trademarked that could be a possible name for them so far. So I hope they switch it. That's an awful, awful name. Not just for the Jericho Appreciation Society is just awful. It really reminds me of Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, kind of. Not only that, but I also thought of the Midnight Society, which is like what the kids on Are You Afraid of the Dark refer to themselves as.
Sorority Society.
Suspicion Sorority Society.
I like that one. I just hope they change the name. I really do.
I feel like they almost have to.
Yeah, me too. So hopefully they change that name out. Otherwise, I loved the whole angle. I think it's good that they finally ended this. It was getting old, and once Jericho and Santana and Ortiz kind of had their falling out, it was like, okay, they're going to do this again. They got to all get back together like nothing happened. It was time. It run its course.
Well, like we talked about, I think it might have even been last week, is just that everybody in that stable, sans Hager, was on to bigger and better things.
Right.
So, like, they really didn't need to be there anymore. And I like this sort of retooling now where you have people that can benefit from being in a stable with Jericho that don't necessarily have anything concrete going on right now, like 2.0, Garcia, Hager too. You talked about him being there, but yeah, it seems like it's more of a revamped version of Inner Circle.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Maybe he'll call it Outer Circle.
There you go.
Inner labia, outer labia. I don't know.
The Rompus Rhombus.
Anyway, Watch Your Wrestling. That was a weird trademark. I don't get that one, but anyway, who else's wrestling am I going to watch?
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
Anyway, anywho, don't watch his wrestling. Watch your wrestling. What the fuck are you talking about? Anyway,
I mean, I guess like what you like, but I mean, there's less convoluted ways of saying that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, complaining is a conversation.
I'm sad that they didn't run with that because that had potential to be hilarious.
Oh, they haven't ran with it yet. It takes a while to get stuff going after you buy the trademark, man. So,
which I really hope, much like those fucking Applebee's commercials, I hope it's spearheaded by Natalia lecturing people.
I never should have got rid of that drop.
It's one of my favorite drops.
I'll get it back. I will. I'll get it back. I'll get it back.
Come on, we're eating good neighborhood.
We're eating good in the neighborhood. It was so like we're eating good in the neighborhood.
I brought my 8 cats. They're crawling on everybody's table. Super unhygienic.
Don't worry. There's a litter box under every table.
That's always been my thing. Is I've never been a cat person. I don't hate cats, but I just never had a cat as a kid or an adult. But like,
right,
going to people's houses and like seeing their cats like crawling around their like kitchen counters and shit. It's like that can't be that sanitary.
No, listen. I've got a dog, and if we don't, I mean, we got one of those robot vacuums. Because if we don't vacuum, we'll get hair everywhere in the kitchen. We'll get, you'll fucking grab a paper plate, and the dog hair is flying everywhere. And he's a short hair. He's a Boston Terrier pug. So he's a very coarse, short-haired dog. Doesn't shed much, but, man, you get hair and everything. But that's why we got the little vacuum that we got. So at least that cleans up most of everything.
Right.
So I like that little vacuum. It was a nice one.
Oh, yeah. No, I have one as well, and it makes a great bit of difference.
Well, we have an offspring. We don't have a Roomba or anything.
Right. Yeah, same.
I forget the name of mine, but it is pretty good. We had one that was awesome a while back, and my middle child, Dylan, decided to find a bottle of vinegar and pour it all over it, and it works, but there's no screen, so you don't know what it's doing or how to set it or anything.
I think I've heard about those Roombas though. It's like I guess the newer ones they don't have a remote. Like your phone is the remote.
Oh.
And that can be kind of a problem. That'd be kind of a pain in the ass in its own right.
Yeah. Mine has a remote, and when it dies, it goes home.
Yeah.
But before it dies. So it's pretty good. Although the other day I came home and it didn't make it home. I felt bad. I felt really bad. I did. I felt bad for it. It tried so hard to make it home, and it didn't go home. It didn't make it home.
It's the silliest fucking thing, but that actually does sometimes give me anxiety. Like when you press the go home button and it like flails around and it can't find its base, it like bothers me.
Especially when you put it 2 inches in front of the base and it turns around again. You're like, you piece of shit.
Yep.
Do we have the same vacuum?
Entirely possible.
I think we might, because mine does that shit too. And I'll look at my wife and go, "This is the dumbest fucking vacuum in the world."
Mm-hmm.
It starts doing spins.
Yep.
Oh, I think we have the same vacuum, possibly.
Sounds like it.
Oh shit! All right. After all that clusterfuck went down with Inner Circle, we got a really cool video package from CM Punk. Looked like this was right after Revolution because he was still bloody as hell. Basically warning everyone, you guys wanted this CM Punk back. Maybe you don't want this CM Punk back.
Yep. Be careful what you wish for.
You just might get it. So I thought that was a pretty cool video showing Punk all bloody and just talking some shit. I don't know if we're going to get like full-on heel Punk, but I think we're going to get smart-ass Punk at least coming back. Smart-ass, badass Punk, which I have no problem with that. So we'll see what happens there. So now we get Dante Martin versus Hangman Page. This is for the World Championship. Little handshake before the match. This was actually a really good match. I do have to say, I really enjoyed this match. Page did end up getting the win. After the win, Dante's walking up the ramp. Page calls him back. And basically, Page is like, look, you got put in a real shitty position. When your brother got hurt, you went into singles competition, and you fucking did really good. I'm proud of you, blah, blah, blah. Basically tells him good luck. Then Cole comes out like, shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, blah, blah, blah. Challenges Page to a 6-man tag match next week. Now, Cole implied here that his partners were going to be the Young Bucks.
Yes.
We did find out later that's not exactly how it was going to work out, because basically the Young Bucks were like, dude, we told you before, anything to do with Page, count us the fuck out. So
they refused to fight their friend.
Cole had to go, Well, I was gonna pick Bobby and Kyle anyway. It just gets childish at some points, and I know that it's kind of like comedy relief. It's kind of like sitcom-ish.
Well, yeah, we've mentioned this before, but it's Adam Cole is the classic example of the guy who like has two dates at once, sitcom style. So he has to like keep running back and forth, and eventually ends up getting found out, and he has to try to make the best of it.
So it's kind of like Miss Doubtfire when Robin Williams has to keep changing outfits in the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do picture like Brandon Cutler wearing a dress while these segments are happening.
Probably is.
That seems like something we would do.
Probably
but
is.
yeah, it is funny though, because like you were saying, it turned out to be kind of a bait and switch. But he was talking about how, like, he had the Young Bucks and he had Red Dragon next to him. And he was talking about how the team that he's going to pick knows how to throw a great party, and like, you know, alluding to the Bucks, whatever.
Right.
And then at the end, he's like, "No, I was talking about Cole and O'Reilly the whole time." And I was like, I would love to know what a fucking Kyle O'Reilly party looks like, because we've tried cool Kyle O'Reilly before, and it did not go over well.
Just invite Orange Cassidy. You're better off.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the fucking cast on his arm, I think he'd be more fun.
There are chips and soda on the table. Like, oh, holy shit.
I think Kyle O'Reilly would just talk MMA the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And you just eventually you'd be like, we got to I got hair to wash.
I've actually been in this situation before.
Or as John Silver said, I got a beard appointment.
Yes.
I don't even have a beard, but I would make that excuse.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you to know how to grow a proper beard.
So this is how you put on a correct onoplata. No, shut up, dude. Okay, let's just leave me alone. Anyway, like I said, I know that they're like this little, like the sitcom segment, but man, it's just, it oozes cheese sometimes, you know?
Yes.
So, I don't know. But this was another kind of reset. What?
I have to address something real quick in the chat.
What did I do?
And I know if you're not in the chat, this really has nothing to do with you. So I guess skip forward for a minute or two. Twice now, SBC has posted the Rob Conway theme song. I appreciate that because it is a fucking amazing theme song. But I'm a bit curious about the context.
Whose theme song? Hold on.
The Rob Conway theme song, Just Look at Me.
All right. See, the chat room can hear that, but you can't. So.
Yep.
I could share screens with you, but.
Oh, I know the song. I can hear it playing in my head without even listening to it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing theme song.
Yeah, well, let's just leave it as a theme song, and we don't need to keep playing it. SBC, calm the fuck down.
I have no idea why that keeps happening. I meant to mention it before because I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that is a cool-ass theme song, and it's worth mentioning, but then saw it again.
It's like he wants me to play it. I'm not going to play it. I already played a half a second of it. That was enough.
I wouldn't be opposed to that.
Now you want me to play it?
That was just like, we just played that. That's how we ended the show. It's just like, in lieu of plugs, we'll just play the Rob Conway theme song.
No.
Oh.
It's not how we end the show. We play Take Y'all Drunken Ass Home.
Well, SBC, I tried. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
No, that's what gets played. That's what we play over there. So, anywho,
you do have my promise that I will listen to the theme song after the show.
Yeah, maybe.
And I honestly will. This isn't like, oh, I'll have to check that out, and then I don't. Like, I'm actually going to listen to the Rob Conway theme song.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe you can. You can listen to it to your heart's content in just a little while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here was another. I guess this wasn't really a reset or anything, but it was a continuation, and we kind of solidified what was happening on Sunday night. We did get Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley with Regal down there versus the Workhorses.
The Workhorsemen.
Workhorsemen, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I must have mistyped that.
The highly illustrious tag team of JD Drake and Gray something. I forget his name.
Oh, God. I didn't write
Dorian Gray from the 50 Shades of Grey franchise.
I didn't write them down or type them out, so I don't know. But
no, I've actually seen he wrestles for Warrior Wrestling sometimes. He's not a bad wrestler.
All right, there you go. I've heard that name.
Remember his name.
JD Drake. I've heard I don't know where, but I've heard him. And right after this is where we got the whole Regal thing. We already talked about the Regal thing. I'm not going to get back into it again. I just you saw some pretty raw emotion coming out from Regal in the beginning with Tony Schiavone, and I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool to see Regal get like that, because I don't think I've ever seen Regal like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. But we already went over that, so we don't need to get into that. But that was another storyline. Like I said, it's kind of solidified everything on what's going to be happening. And I think they're going to start adding people to that group, and we'll have to find out about that. So after that, we get the Wheeler Utah versus Pac match. A lot of just bullshit going on, but it was a good match. I'm not going to lie. I do like Wheeler Yuta, but I like Pac better. So I was glad Pac won that match.
Right.
But, they had Wheeler Yuta had the best friends down there. Pac had the rest of the Death Triangle down there. So, again, it did turn into a bit of a clusterfuck at times, but not that bad.
He had Pentagon, and he had in Druid form Alex Abrahantes, which I that fucking outfit is crazy. I like it, but like I like specifically like the idea that he just had that hanging in his closet, just waiting for the right moment to break it out.
I've been waiting to get rid of the hype man for a while now.
It's like he bought it for like a Halloween costume at some point, and then he didn't want to throw it away because he spent a lot of money on it. Now it's his like, how you buy like a nice shirt or even a suit, and you just kind of keep it in the closet for the right moment.
Well, he was the Emperor last year for Halloween.
That's true.
So that just worked out perfect. He kept the coat.
Oh, by the way, Anthony Henry was the name I was looking for. I don't know where I got Gray. He was Asher Hale in NXT. But
oh, okay. All right, now I know who you're talking about there. So, anyway, we move on a little bit. Another complete reset in the storyline here. FTR fired Tully.
Yes.
Because Tully didn't want to fight for family? What? It's the dumbest storyline.
Yeah, it kind of didn't make sense because he was like one of them, and I refused to learn their names. I mean, Stax Hardwood and I just thought I knew the other one. Cash Wheeler, there we go. I just never remember which one's which. I believe Dax Hardwood is a bald guy. But anyways, he was talking about how he did everything he did for his family and whatnot. And Tully's like, well, that's great, but we should probably focus on trying to win matches and championships. And they're like, fuck you, Tully, you're fired. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with that. I guess they're going to be out on their own. Tully might need time off or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I feel like they're kind of bit by bit breaking up the God, what is that stable's name? The Pinnacle.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they are.
Wardlow's gone from MJF, and FTR, I guess, is going to separate from MJF too, probably. So they're just sort of revamping or getting rid of Pinnacle.
If you think about it, Pinnacle was kind of started to go against Inner Circle.
Mm-hmm.
So no Inner Circle. Not really a use for Pinnacle anymore. So why
That's
bother?
Right.
Why bother? Speaking of why bother, I'm glad this shit is over. We talked a little bit about this already. HFO out there with Andrade, apologized, blah, blah, blah. Matt's getting his ass kicked, and Darby Allin and Sting come out. And then his brother's music hits, and we talked about the Jeff Hardy, the little reunion. Well, we talked a little bit about the Jeff Hardy thing, but great reunion, man, between these guys. I thought it was pretty cool watching these two get back, in the ring together. Like we said, Jeff wasn't going to miss a chance to gyrate for a couple seconds there. And once he did that, but Matt hit the Twist of Fate on Blade. Jeff hit the Swanton on Blade. And with the music, we've got, I don't know, they can literally just spell Hardy Boys with an S instead of a Z and use it.
Mm-hmm. What I did enjoy about this segment in particular is while Jeff Hardy's theme song was playing and he was doing his gyrations, they kept stomping the shit out of Matt.
Yeah.
That is one of the things that always makes me laugh about just wrestling across the board. Anytime somebody's getting beaten up and then a theme music plays, they just suddenly stop. Where it's you have time to keep working the guy over. You can keep doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, he still has to get to the fucking ring.
And being that it was Jeff Hardy and he had to get his posing in first,
Absolutely.
they had even extra time.
Absolutely. Had to get that shit in. So, but I great stuff. I'm really looking forward to see what they do with Matt and Jeff Hardy, to see how just what they can do outside of WWE. I know we've seen what they can do in Impact, but man, we might get some more of those crazy matches, and I got a feeling we might see Brooke and Matt Hardy come back a little more as time goes by. After all that good stuff, we had Schiavone backstage. He was with Swerve Strickland. Tony Nese comes up out of nowhere like he fucking owns AEW or something. I mean, I kind of literally, I was like, why doesn't Swerve just go, "Who the fuck are you?"
Right.
Who the fuck are you? Oh, that's right. We worked together for a while, didn't we? Are you the guy from Superman 2? No. Okay. You're not Non. Okay. Thank you.
That is what I enjoyed about this too, was like this came off the heels of the William Regal promo. Like, it wasn't directly the next segment, but this came off the heels of the William Regal promo where he was like talking about how great of a friend Tony Schiavone was to him. And then Swerve went out of his way to also mention that Tony Schiavone is like his best friend too. So like Tony Schiavone is just a man of the fucking people, huh? Like, everybody is his best friend. He's best friends with everybody.
Dude, Schiavone was all over this show tonight, number one. Let me bring up two things here. One, Schiavone was all over this fucking show tonight. Like, every other segment was Tony Schiavone. Number two, they're starting to take a little bit of an advantage with the picture-in-picture.
Oh my God, it seemed like every match was picture-in-picture this time.
I really feel like they're starting to take a little bit of advantage of us with the picture-in-picture. I'm sorry. I cannot concentrate on that little screen. That is like watching a 20-inch television on the left side, and you've got a fucking iPhone 6 on the other side you're looking at. That's the difference in screen size.
Right.
I don't want to.
It was
fucking
particularly
watch.
hard for me.
Yeah. Because
I didn't tell you this, but I have moved to Canada, so I was watching it on TSN. That's a thing I neglected to mention. But on the TSN feed, they play the same like 2 to 3 commercials, which is like one for an auto parts store, and then one for McDonald's Canada, which is literally the same commercial every time, where there's these two brothers fighting, and then their mother or babysitter, they're never quite clear, orders 1 packet of barbecue sauce for their McNuggets. So now they have to share and they have to become friends again. But it was just a lovely, heartwarming tale, but they play it once per commercial break, every commercial break, for 2 hours.
Interesting.
It's terrible.
Do they go, "I don't want to share my barbecue sauce, hey"?
Well, none of them talk. Yes, they all talk like Teddy Hart. In fact, Teddy Hart might be in the commercial.
It's all this a boot. It's all this a boot. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's just standing at the counter holding one of his cats.
Motherfucker, get up and go ask for another barbecue sauce. That's how you fucking solve this shit. Oh, I'm sorry. They charge you now, don't they, for extra sauce?
I don't know.
They were for a while there. They were charging 25 cents a sauce after one.
I will say this isn't a thing from having worked in restaurants for quite a while. Regardless of whatever restaurant it is, doesn't matter, chain, not chain. People treat the sauces, no matter what sauce it is, be it barbecue sauce, honey mustard, ketchup, whatever, special sauces, like the sauce is fucking gold. They literally I've heard so many managers refer to sauce as liquid gold. And it makes me want to fucking choke them. Because like the whole thing is like, anytime you get soda for whatever, like those syrup packets cost like fucking nickels at the most. The soda's fucking cheap as hell.
Right.
So they have no problem giving that away for free, but they actually have to pay like full price, I guess, for barbecue sauce and shit like that.
Huh. Wow. Well, that's why they charge so much for food. So, and I mean, Jesus, everything's going up right now is all I'm going to say. Everything's fucking, everything. Gas seems to, I wake up every day and I'm like, did gas go up again? I think it might have.
There was legitimately a fucking story the other day about like how with like shortages and everything and inflation and labor issues and whatnot, that they're going to be cutting down the amount of chicken nuggets that Burger King offers you. And I was like, of all things that's going on in today's world, that's the big tragedy, is that you're getting less Burger King chicken nuggets, which nobody likes anymore.
Oh, those things are fucking when I eat them, I'm thinking this is what that fake chicken, like the Impossible chicken, probably tastes like. This is their nuggets are awful.
They really are. Like Burger King's fine, but the nuggets, McDonald's has better nuggets. Wendy's obviously has better nuggets. Wendy's chicken's really good. I like it.
Actually, we have some good chicken. If you want real nuggets, we have a Chicken Express here, and they've got great nuggets. We have Cain's chicken here, awesome fucking nuggets and chicken fingers. So you always have better chicken than we have. Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I got Chick-fil-A, dude. If you can get there, listen. If you don't,
that is the problem. Is that I do not have any gripes to say about the food. But A, it's a little bit expensive. B, they don't give you as much as other restaurants. And C, the most important one, their fucking drive-through is always astronomically just a super long.
Yep. You know what I do though? I go for breakfast. They do breakfast at the one right by my job, so I'll do breakfast there.
And like the atmosphere makes me uncomfortable. The whole my pleasure thing is just like I hate it because I know that they have to say it, but like it's not your pleasure, and I don't blame you that it's not your pleasure.
Well, from what people say, it's actually a damn good place to work. It's not a bad place. They get benefits, decent pay. The managers supposedly are really nice. I mean, the one there is a really nice person. So I don't know, but
it just has weird like culty vibes to me. Unless they're unless they only like hire like really submissive people. That's like literally, it's like it is my pleasure to serve you.
Well, it is owned by very religious people.
Just some guy working the counter, just fucking rock hard at the prospect of being able to refill my Mr. Pibb. And yes, I did pick Mr. Pibb because that particular is funnier than Sprite.
I did. Well, Mr. Pibb would be the competitor of Dr. Pepper, I believe, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which they, in all likelihood, probably have Dr. Pepper and not Mr. Pibb. But it is great when there is restaurants that have Mr. Pibb or Mr. Pibb Extra.
I think they do have Coke products. By the way, thank God Coke will not be selling anymore in Russia with what's going on. Thank God those people now won't be able to get Coke. It's a great.
No more Discovery Plus either.
No more caffeine, and I mean, how are they going to clean their batteries on their car batteries and shit? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. The fact
Starbucks too.
The fact that you can clean your toilet with Coke just grosses me out.
Well, yeah. I mean, I drink soda all the time. I'm not going to pretend like I don't, but just the idea of like I was talking to my mother about this not too long ago that like a lot of things that I eat, people recommend that you not give to dogs because it will kill them. And it's like it makes you think about like whether or not you should be eating this shit.
Yeah, well, dogs can't have sugar either, so.
True. Well, yes, but
there's a lot of things. Dogs can't have turkey because of the tryptophan. So
turkey, pork.
Well, a little bit of pork is not bad for them, but too much of anything is bad for dogs. But
people too. But yeah,
yeah, too much of anything is bad for people too. But anyway. Tony Nese challenged Swerve on Friday, and it's going to be Tony Nese and Swerve on Rampage. Blah blah blah. We talked about the Wardlow thing already. Yeah, we did. Well, I don't think we need to mention anything on that. After that, we had the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy with Christian. They came out the Acclaimed versus the Acclaimed. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy with Christian versus the Acclaim. That's what I meant to say. I
would like to see their bookkeeping on this too, because I would like to know how a tag team that I've never seen win anything in the last like 3 months, how they managed to become the #1 contenders.
AEW Dark?
Apparently.
Well, that's what they do. They just, I get it. I know what they're doing, but it's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. Meanwhile, it was a good match. I do like the Acclaimed. I think they're a little corny. I actually think Max Caster's raps are kind of stupid.
Well, they kind of have to be now because he tried to be fun. And
I
nobody
know.
wanted to play along.
I know. you can't make jokes anymore. But anyway, they retain. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus did retain. It was a good match. There was nothing really like outstanding special about it really that I saw.
Right. Yeah, I like the Acclaim too. I just wish they would stop having them lose so very much.
Yeah. Now this was a match I got to tell you. I was sort of looking forward to it. Had no problems with it. I was actually like, "Oh, cool! Layla Hirsch versus Thunder Rosa. That should be a good match. Someone good for Layla to go out there with." What a great match!
Not necessarily.
I still feel that everyone's. That's what made me say that earlier. Is the slowdown thing for Layla, or I kind of feel like Layla might just be new. And Thunder Rosa had to slow it down, and it looked again like this match was a little over choreographed, like they were fucking trying to dance.
A little bit. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up to see how long she's been in the game for, but because I've seen her before, like on the Indies, but it wasn't terribly long ago. 2017.
4 years isn't that long. Yeah.
Earliest they have her listed as. When then, like, apparently she made, according to Wikipedia, she made her professional wrestling debut at CZW. So theoretically, she may have been a product of their system, which means that she still has a lot to learn and a lot to how to properly and correctly do things.
Okay, so the first thing they need to do is unteach her and then teach her again.
Trained by Joe Gacy, so yeah, probably CZW system.
Oh, let me guess. DJ had a match where he got to lick her.
I would probably say so.
Yeah, I would say so too. Fucking perv. I love that I don't have to be nice to that guy anymore. I'm sorry. I really do. Anyway. After the match, Rosa did pick up the win. Again, it was not horrible, the match. It was not bad. I just felt it seemed very, very, very choreographed at times. I like slow choreographed. Know what I mean? I get choreographing. I totally do. I mean, but slow motion choreographing just looks like slow motion dancing. So didn't really care for the match very much. But after Rosa picked up the win, Schiavone once again announced a title match for Thunder Rosa next week with Britt Baker in a steel cage.
That's right.
Got a feeling it's going to be our main event next week.
Oh, more than likely, yeah.
Speaking of main events, Mark.
Yes.
We are there. Scorpio Sky, Sami versus Sammy Guevara. This was for the TBS title. We talked a bit about this already with in the beginning of the show when we were asked about the championship, if Scorpio Sky is a transition champion. I liked this match. I actually think these guys put on a good match. You knew Dan Lambert and fucking Ethan Page were eventually going to get it somehow in the picture. And they did, of course. They, caused a bunch of stuff. Paige Van Zant was there to jump in. She really threw Tay Conti hard into those stairs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, she threw the fuck out of her. But you also saw the way she hit. It was more her legs and stomach that hit the stairs. So it wasn't a bad throw. It just looked like she really threw her into the stairs. It was pretty good. Pretty good, actually. Good stuff there. But I didn't see much of a problem. But again, Sami did lose the title here. I don't know if maybe he's more injured than we know, taking a break, or if they just wanted to possibly get him going for a different title. Maybe now that Inner Circle is gone. He still had the vest on tonight, though.
Yeah. Well, they made a note to mention that, too. I guess that's sort of part of the extra story to it, is that with everything that's been going on, there's extra outside distractions that came into effect.
Right.
I think this was always the plan, though, because according to John Meltz, the other day, they were planning on something. They had big plans for Scorpio Sky. So apparently this is always in the cards. But it is a little bit surprising. I mean, they did mention that he hadn't lost a match in almost an entire year. They said 364.
Wow.
So they had been apparently booking him pretty strong and like kind of setting up an eventual moment where something like this would happen. So here we are.
Yeah. And once again, we got a picture-in-picture. And during this picture-in-picture, Sammy's all hurt. Tay is down there all concerned about him. They start walking Sami back. He does the, no, I'm going back in the ring. And Scorpio Sky was fucking like ragdolling him for a couple minutes there.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, God damn, dude. Being fucking brutal on this guy. Which I know was part of the fucking way it was supposed to go. But I don't know, man. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty good match. I didn't have many problems with it. I was a little shocked that they took the belt off of Sami, but they've obviously got either bigger plans for Sami, which I'm fine with that. Bigger plans would be the world championship.
Yeah, theoretically.
I mean, TBS champion, maybe tag team champions if he goes with somebody. I don't know.
Unless they're like maybe planning on doing like a mixed tag team match or something with like him and Tay and Paige Van Zant and somebody. I don't know who they would pick for that, but it seems like for sure that they're setting up a feud between Paige and Layla, or not Layla, Tay.
Yeah, they could probably that could be, or it could just be straight up Tay versus Paige Van Zant. Maybe we'll see what happens there. I don't know how trained Paige Van Zant is, so. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know. They did allude to the fact that she, I guess, signed a contract with them because she made a note to sign it on Tay's posterior region, as we should say.
Well, I mean, let's face it. If I knew her, I would ask to sign everything on her ass.
Mm-hmm.
I got to sign something. Can you come here? Be in the fucking DMV. Come here. I got to sign this. Come here.
That's kind of an all-purpose. You can just use it as a desk. You can use it as a table to eat dinner upon, TV tray.
I could think of a few ways to use her.
Oh, for sure. But since we're winding down here, two things that I had meant to mention and just never got around to doing. The Keith Lee promo, I got a kick out of it because he was saying, QT Marshall comes up to him and says that the factory has his back, to which Keith Lee replies, I have a lot of back. Which just made me laugh. He's like, I have a very big back. It's like, all right, cool. I just love the way that he talks, because he talks in a way that is very unique to him, and it's usually kind of funny. But there's that. And also, Moxley. I'm curious to see, like, look out for him, because it looked like he fucked himself up when he went for that dive. Because he went for a dive to the outside, and he, like, basically completely missed. And then he was, like, limping around, and it was at the very end of the match, and I kind of felt bad for him. Because at the very least, in this moment, he had hurt his leg. Like, it might be fine tomorrow, who knows? But, like, his leg was clearly hurting him. And then he just had to stand around for the entire duration of the Regal promo. So I, like, felt a little bad for him because Regal, like, again, it was a good promo, but it was kind of long. So he was just sitting there, like, in pain the entire time, like, trying to shake his leg back into, like, working properly.
That's probably why he was kind of, Moxley kind of walks around anyway, paces the ring, so I don't know. But, man, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that did look like it kind of got him a little bit there. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. He might be all right. He's got a week.
Yeah.
He's got a week to relax. And he was walking, so it's not like it's, bad.
Sure.
So I think that's it, man. I got nothing else.
Yeah, I'm good.
Nice one here. Oh, good. My stomach is fucking killing me for some reason.
Yeah, I got a bit of a headache.
Oh, I'm still having stomach problems, but they've been worse lately. So anyway, let's go ahead and knock this out then one more time for plugs, and then we will get on out of here. Get out of your way. And, of course, that means you got to check out the high marks. That's right. Mojo, G-Wiz, Cheeseman, check them all out. Where can you check them out? Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. Metal Mitt Podcast Network, Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Podcast Network. Definitely be checking them out Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, they're the Inhumans. They are on the Inhuman Experience. You should already be subscribed. If you are not, go press that button. Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast, the EUP network over there on Blog Talk Radio. It's Eric, it's Doug, it's Daniel. Check them out. Oh, was that a yawn?
It was not, no. The dog has been making a lot of weird noises lately.
Oh, that was the dog. Okay. Check them out on the usual podcast platforms also, and Blog Talk Radio, EUP network over there. Check out, and don't forget Stephen Milan over there reviewing films over there. Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan. 2 L's in Milan. And I, once again, will not be on this Saturday. I'm going to go grab my kids and hang out with them and then bring them back Sunday. So I will be out of town Saturday night, and that's it. Smart, wrap us up, man.
That's it. You know what I want you to do? I want you to just look at me. There you go, SBC. A little bit of Rob Conway for you. But I want you to check me out on Cheese on Sports, Mondays, 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Mitt Podcast Network, on the Mixler Machine, and wherever you get your podcasts. It's Cheese, G-Wiz, Luke Birch, Matt, and myself. We're talking the NFL, NBA, NHL, and probably college basketball very soon. So be sure to listen to us, and be sure to listen to Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show, wherever you get your gosh darn podcast. And last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rack on Tour. It's the Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes of season 1 are available. Season 2 is dropping as we speak, so be sure to subscribe so you do not miss an episode.
All right. And on that note, folks, we are out of here. Thank you, everybody, jumping on in the chat. Had a great chat room tonight. Definitely appreciate everybody stopping on by. And, excuse me, anyone who's going to, I can throat got dry again. Anyone downloading the show, greatly appreciated. On that note, we will be back here next week. So have a great rest of the week. And see ya.
Adios.
Time to take your drunken ass home. It's alright. If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass home. Party's over.